So here we have the K24A2. So right now I am basically going to be installing the 50-degree VTC gear that goes right there, the intake side, as well as the balance shaft delete and the K20 oil pump, which is sitting over here, right here. So basically I kind of already started disassembling it, but the only thing I've done is just take off the valve cover. There's 6 little nuts. And then basically you want to take out the VTC solenoid and the crank position sensor. And then you want to knock off this crank bolt, and then take all these front timing gears off, or timing cover bolts off. And then you'll take this off and then take the oil pan off. And I'll give you access to everything that you need. So yeah, it's just all these all the way around you do, and then the bottom oil pan, you take those off. But this motor looks pretty good. This was an eBay motor, stock K24A2. I went ahead and cleaned it up and threw a coat of paint on the sides. I'm changing the timing cover, so I didn't paint that, but yeah, just a nice quick coat of paint, just to kind of clean it up a little bit. So, yep, I'll update you after you get the timing cover and oil pan off. So this is timing cover off. Basically, you need a big impact the crank bolt off. It took more than I would have thought. And then from there, you zip off all these, and then the 3 big ones in the middle, there's a big one right there, and then all the small ones, don't forget that one right there. And then I just got a pry tool and a dead blow and hit the tops of these 2, basically right here on these little ears, and just use the dead blow, and it comes right off. So don't forget also the bottom 3, the oil pan, they go into the timing cover. So from here, just gonna zip off all the oil pan bolts. I need to drain the oil because apparently there's still oil in here, and then yeah, the oil pan can come off, and you can start doing the oil pump. So. Okay, so update, get the oil pan off. It's just all of these bolts, and then you can basically pry it off. And then from there, I took off the tensioner, which sits right there. And basically what I did is just throw a little paper clip in it and then zip these 2 bolts off, and then it comes right off. From there, it'll relieve all the tension of the timing chain. So you just move this one, and then you can take the chain off from the main gear and then just put it to the side. You will have to take it off to change this VTT gear. I'm still waiting for mine to come in. But the next step is basically gonna take this whole balance shaft. I'm gonna flip the motor 180. I'm gonna take this whole balance shaft out, and then take this whole timing chain or oil pump chain off as well. So I'll kind of record some of that just to show you. But yeah, so ideally you're changing this chain, these 2 guides, and then this oil pump gear, which is all integrated right there to the K20 pump. So just be careful when you do take the oil pan off, as it will go everywhere. So just letting you know. Here we have the motor flipped over. So this is the K24 integrated oil pump and balance shaft. We are going to be getting rid of this. So essentially, like I said, you want to take the timing cover off, the crank off. I took all the timing guides off, and then for the oil pump, you want to take the 2 oil pump guides off. These guys. So take those off, and then basically you're left with this loose chain. So what you're gonna have to do is take off all the balance shaft bolts, which is 1, 2, 3, and 4, and basically you're gonna take this whole assembly out and then tilt it to get this gear off of this chain. In terms of everything else, it's pretty simple. Just be careful when flipping it over because oil is going to go everywhere. But yeah, so that's the next step, is just taking this whole assembly off. It's going to be heavy, so that is the next step. This is my process of getting this little pin out. I just grabbed a little screw and just screwed into it, and then pulled up on it with some pliers. Just be careful. Metal will go everywhere. So just kind of make sure it doesn't get in everywhere, but if it does, to flip it over and clean it out like I'm gonna do. I mean, there's little metal bits So just get all that out. But yeah, this is pretty self-explanatory. Just get some sort of screw or a left-hand drill bit, either one, and it should be able to pull it out. So yeah, so there's that. And then there are threads in there, so you're just gonna get a bolt and put some RTV on it and thread that in, and you're good to go. If you don't plug that, you won't have oil pressure. So very, very important. So after that, we have the windage tray, which is this thing right here, and then the oil pump. You get the oil pump on, you get the windage tray on. So the oil pump has 3 bolts, 2 12mm heads and 1 10mm head. These 2 are going to get torqued to 20 foot-pounds, and then this 6mm 10mm bolt head is going to get torqued to 9 foot-pounds. So just to reiterate, you have to slide it at an angle and then basically get this on this bottom gear, and then you can flatten it onto little dowels and everything will sit well. Then you can put the windage tray on. Each of these are 6mm bolts, 10mm heads, all 9 foot-pounds. And don't forget to put your plug in for the dowel or the plug that was in it. So put a bolt with RTV. It is a 8x125 bolt, I believe. So yeah, update, windage tray, oil pump is all on. I used red Loctite on all of them just to make sure, because harmonics of the K series. But yeah, so that's the update on that. Next part with this is theoretically you can clean this whole surface and put your oil pan on. And the bottom end is bottom to go. The only other part is to do is the 50-degree VCT gear. It's the balance shaft delete. So you do save a considerable amount of weight doing this. So, and then this is the part number for the new 50-degree VCT gear, which looks like this. So your old one is gonna come off, which is this guy. There's your difference, different part numbers. So basically how this goes on, it's very simple. It's doweled. So you just slide this on, it goes on, and boom. It sits in like that. So clicks in. And then your mark should be very close. Obviously it's not perfect because the chain's not on right now. But from there, you get your bolt. I'm gonna put some red Loctite on it, and then you torque it to 90 foot-pounds. Make sure to hold that. And then after this cam gear is on, you can put the timing components back on, and then put the timing cover, put the oil pan, and your valve cover, and you're pretty much good to go there. Okay, to go over timing quickly, the K24 on your cam gears, you have these 2 dots right there and right there. You have your chain, which has 2 blue marks right here and 2 blue marks right there. You want to line those up. You want to line those up. You want to make sure you have your cams locked out, TDC. Same with the actual crank. You want it at TDC. You want that line lined up. You want that line lined up. On your chain, you have another blue mark down here. You want to align, and you have a dot on your little cam sprocket. Crank sprocket, sorry. Crank sprocket. You want to line that mark up onto that cam gear, crank gear, can't speak, dot, like so. The mark goes onto the dot. There. Now you can put your tensioner on and spin it over and make sure everything's good. Those lines should be relatively close. Mark, mark, mark. Simple. Okay, now we have this chain gear on, the timing chain guides, and then now you have your tensioner. So like I said, these are 9 foot-pounds a piece. It helps when you do take the tensioner off to put a piece of like a push tack or a paper clip into this little hole right there. That'll prevent the tensioner from coming all the way out. Basically you'll keep it in, and then you'll put it at this position, put these 2 bolts in, 9 foot-pounds, and then take that safety pin out, and it'll push it out, thus tensioning the chain, hence tensioner. So you just want to double check that all your marks are still good with everything, and then you want to turn it over a couple times and make sure that it all lines up after you rotate it.